Hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Uh, let's see. Prayers for healing for the restoration of health of Church Nellie, Therese Martin, and Cynthia Thorpe. Wow, three people. Well, thank you so much for that, Lydia Washington. So there are three people having surgery, or there's something else going on? Restoration for Health. So I'm assuming there's three people that are down right now. Well, we will keep you all in our prayers 100% for sure, for certain. The Sussex Squad prayer warriors, not warriors, but warriors. Warriors, yeah. Uh, you know what you have to do. So get on with it. Thank you so much for that. Okay. And let me see who was here first. Beverly McCaskill. Uh, oh no. Well, thank you so much for easing yourself to sleep with Royal Sussex. I appreciate it. Nowadays, I'll take what I can get. Okay. All right, let's get on with it then. So, don't forget, if you have not made your donations for Lily Diana's birthday, Lilibet Diana's birthday, it is not too late. Remember, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I showed you this art auction preview for Tuesday, the June 4th. Um, Join us for the auction via Sandra Blunt. That, of course, is Grandma on Twitter. Let's see. All funds raised will go straight to charity. So this is for one charity, but remember, I think there's only the two. I hope I got that right. However, I donated to two of them, so if there's another one, then I don't know about it. But I did donate to two of them. This is, you can probably see it right there, top right in that square. That is one of the artworks that was auctioned off on uh, Grandma's Twitter page. So if you were there, then you know that the Sussex Squad was quite generous today. I um, I think they raised like $3,000 or $4,000 while Grandma was on, which is amazing. So for anyone who was there that participated, thank you so much. I listened in. I did not talk or anything like that. I just listened in. Um, but it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was absolutely great. And cheers to Grandma for hosting that space. Um, okay. Huh. What am I looking for? Oh, I know what it is. Nope, I forgot. I lost it just that fast. Never mind. Couldn't have been that important. Okay, so happy birthday, Princess Lilibet. I'm sending lots of hugs, kisses, well wishes your way. Happy birthday, little one. You are beloved and cherished. Well, that was, this is like one of dozens of these that were posted on the Sussex friendly Twitter accounts. And I just grabbed one. But I made this one myself. Happy birthday, Lilibet Diana. And notice that it has three crowns because she's what? 3 years old? So three crowns for the 3 year old. Ha! Very cool, right? It is three, right? Right? Why am I doubting myself? But yeah, since she's three, I hope so. I mean, if not, I could just always add a fourth crown. Um, but yeah, I actually used that yesterday, but it was just like one little skinny thing. So I spread it out and added some more to it. Let's see. I'll show you. Yeah, this is what it was yesterday. I added a little background to it, but then I said, nah, I mean, that's pretty. You can do more with that. So then I went to that. So from this to that. As the eye doctor says, which do you like better, this one or this one? This one or this one? A or B? A or B? And I start doubting myself when the eye doctor says, and I'm like, well, okay, what? That, I never get anything out. They're just clicking. Which is better, A or B? And I'm like, up, up, up. Does that happen to everybody? It's like you never get it out, and then you start doubting yourself, and and then the eye doctor says, cover one. They give you that little giant plastic spoon to cover your eye, and the whole time you're wondering, I wonder where this spoon has been. Anyway, if I can get out of there without catching pink eye, I'm happy. What is pink eye though? Where does that come from? Is that a virus or a bacteria or what? That is so gross, pink eye. Highly contagious though. Anyway, what was we talking about? Oh yes, Lilibet Diana's birthday. Oh, and the fundraisers. So this is a cake. Apparently, looks like a buttercream icing. This was shared supposedly from her birthday last year. Supposedly. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's authentic, but I don't know. Ooh, that sounds awful. Conjunctivitis. Ugh, I don't want that. And then take a look. Compare Harry at 3 years old to Lilibet Diana at 3 years old. Oh, it doesn't matter because, wait, where is it? Oh, I guess that was for later on. No? What did I do with it? Oh, I don't have it here. I was supposed to have the picture. Oh, this is what I was looking for. It doesn't matter whether it's the grandma, dad, or granddaughter. They're all gingers, right? They're all gingers. Thank you, Pullover Girl. Thank you. And believe me, sometimes I make myself laugh, especially when I'm thinking of something really twisted. Marshall says, "Yep, I hate that eye test. After a while, I start to get confused." Which I know, I don't know, and then I'm just like, if I don't answer this correct, then what's gonna happen, right? So you want to get it right, but they go so fast. A or B? Can you do that? A or B? Well, okay, I just A or B. I don't know. If I could see, I wouldn't be here. Have you ever thought about that? A or B? If I could see A or B, I wouldn't be in this chair. You saw my car pull up with that white stick hanging on the front of it. What do you think that was for? I can't see. So A or B. Uh, okay. Back over here. So this one is the one that Grandma was doing earlier today. So Invictus Games community recognition and this. Anyway, if you want the links for all of these, go to the community tab. Okay, let me just grab that for you right now. You can go to and see. Maybe that's why I have had such a difficult time with these fundraisers, because which would you like to donate to? A or B? A or B? A or B? Well, actually, A or B. Well, you see, A or B. Uh, uh, A. B. I don't know. Here, just take my card and figure out what's right. Leave me alone. But so that's what I had to do. I had to do A and B today. I decided to go ahead and do A and B. That way, everybody get a little slice of the pie. So let me see here. Okay, I was getting the community tab for you, wasn't I? So I'm going to put the link for the community tab at the top, and then you can go on there and maybe do something for both. Uh, okay, let me see. What am I doing here? Okay, I got that, and I am going to put it there. Okay, that's the community tab. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. And then you could just look at like the last two things I posted. So that one. Okay. Take that back. There was three things. Okay, I need to get rid of one of these because that's going to make it confusing. So the first one is one charity, and then the second one, they have more slides. Actually, I found the extras. You figure it out. Just make sure that you take a look at both of those, right? Let's see. Lex says, let's give Megan credit for the red hair gene too. Yes, yes. Obviously, that red hair gene runs in the family. And interesting, you should say that, Lex, because I have at least one family member that has red hair, and another one who had a little brownish hair and freckles too, freckles. So um yeah, that's probably that little Welsh Irishman that's um stuck in there somewhere trying to get out. But yeah, there's it's very interesting the way those genetic traits rise to the surface in some African American families, and all it takes is for someone to, like Megan, marry someone who is like Diana's family is very, very English, and of course Charles' side of the family is extremely German. So with that, then of course it wakes up some of those dormant traits. I guess I don't know, but either way, that Lily and Archie are going to grow up and do some extraordinary things. That's all I care about. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, thank you, Lex. Tinkerbell 17's finally able to attend a live chat. Well, thank you so much for being here. I don't think I've ever seen your name here before, but thank you for 2 months membership. Thank you so much for that. I am very appreciative. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. Uh, okay, let's continue. So those are a couple of other let's see. Well, one charity is in the Canadian dollar, but you can change the to different currencies if you need to. And the other one is in South African, and you could change that to U.S. dollars or to a few other currencies. So you do have that option. So if you go to either one or both, don't get discouraged if you see that it's a different type of currency. There's a place where you can change it. So just look sharp and you'll see how to do it. Oh, Tinkerbell, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here tonight on, or this morning on Royal Sussex. Okay. Now, I talked about Nigel Farage yesterday. He just don't get along with anybody, does he? Huh? He does he? He doesn't get along with anybody. If somebody is not throwing something at him, which of course I don't recommend. I don't like the idea of people lobbing missiles and stuff like that because it's so easy for those things to get out of hand and somebody can get terribly hurt. And least of all, if somebody is after Nigel Farage, first of all, it's wrong. And second of all, what if you hit an innocent what if you hit an innocent person? Huh? That wouldn't be nice. What if there's like a nun or some elderly lady with her walking frame or whatever crossing the road and you go to haul off and throw a looks like a McDonald's milkshake or something. You go to throw something like that at somebody, which you should not be doing anyway. And what if you hit the wrong person? I mean, it's one thing if you ruin Nigel Farage suit. It's a whole nother thing if there's an innocent bystander. Not to say that he's not innocent until proven guilty, but it's not right. It's not proper. Um, you can be arrested, and in some situations, that can be referred to as a battery. That can be an assault or battery. So, yeah. So just you know, whatever the case may be, don't you do it and don't you encourage other people to do it because it's not right. I mean, yes, he's got that unfortunate face. Yes, he's partially responsible for Brexit. Yes, he's partially responsible for the decline of the British society. Sure. But it's not, um, you know, nice to throw things at people. So no matter what you're going through, just remember it's wrong. You wouldn't want anybody to do that to you. Um, I mean, what if that was your mom? Of course, I would feel bad if anybody's mom looks like this, but I'd feel bad if anybody looks like this. I mean, yes, that face by itself is a provocation. I mean, who could not look at that face and not feel provoked? Huh? Not many people, I'm afraid. But he's a human being. He has a right to exist. And even if his mouth looks like a lunar crater or something like that, it doesn't matter. He is a he is a human being. I think. I think he's human. Well, he's close to human. Something made it with something, and he is here and we have to deal with him. So, and even the cartoon version is equally as beastly as the human version, but that is somebody's child, and God forbid somebody's father, but that is somebody's child and brother and uncle and um the destructor of society as we know it. Why does that nose remind me of a cashew? Now I got a taste for cashews. Jules Ryder says, "Well, Baron, at least she didn't throw eggs in." Yeah, because you know what? Those eggs, you could actually. What is bad about throwing eggs at him? You could miss, right? Or the shells that get all over the ground. We don't want that. Some people, it's just so hard to say something positive about them. Not the oops, baby. Oh well. Um, yeah, yeah. Bleh. Okay. Let's get back over here. But again, don't do it now. Poor Mister Lennon's. Yeah, poor Mister Lennon here. Um, Sean Ono Lennon, the son of John Lennon and Yoko Ono, one of the worst singers that has ever lived. John Lennon's son, Sean, says Prince Harry is an idiot who deserves to be mocked in online rant. Well, he read Spare, he didn't like it, and he decided that he would give voice to it via the social media. Now, what could possibly go wrong? Well, according to Jack Royston, John Lennon's son gets threats over Prince Harry's comments. Um, okay, so how does that go from what I just shared to Prince Harry's comments? It was one particular part of the book about the Todger that seemed to condemn the entire book for Sean Lennon. And so he decided to make light of it or comment about it instead of reviewing the book at its complete and whole, taking in the totality of this what according to critics, which is a surprisingly very well written book. He decides that he would just fixate on that part of it and condemn the entire book, which sounds very suspicious to me. And someone did call him out for that. So I don't know what the think three or four threats he said. It was three or four. It seems like if it's that few threats, then you would know whether it was three or four, right? Instead of three or four, you would know whether it was three or four. But he doesn't seem to know. It was three or four. Anyway, so as you can see, Sean says, I've had three to four threats since making fun of Harry's book title, and then later saying it was justified because he's an idiot and that he and I both deserve to be mocked. No, not both of you. Yay, internet. Well, let me see. Did he say he and I? Well, okay. I don't see the original tweet. But okay, so there you go. That is what he says today. Fine, fine. Now, let's continue. You sound scared for sure. Must be the most attention you've received in your pathetic life. It must be the most attention you received in your pathetic life. Um, Someone took exception to it. Now, I don't think that that could be considered a threat. This was just somebody pointing out the obvious. Most people do not know you or know. Okay, I would say some people do know of you, obviously, but they don't really know you. You have been a public person, but invisible all at the same time. I want to say decades had gone by, and I didn't have a conscious thought about Sean Lennon. What does he do? What does he think? I don't know because, like most people, I really don't care. Lex says, known as John Lennon's son, You are a clout chaser. Hey, there you go. I'm going to say clout chaser. Yes, a clout chaser. Thank you so much for that. So here's a few others that have responded. Like this one here says, who are you again? A nothing? Son of. And someone else says, now you're searching for digital hugs. And then another person says, well, no one deserves to be threatened. That's very wrong. Going by your comments, it's obvious you went on the tabloid opinion and didn't actually read the book. Harry is an easy mark. You mentioned him and you get a lot of exposure and attention. Well, you reached your goal. Huh. I like that one. And here's another one. The most attention he has received in his entire life. If only that was indeed true. You trolling him was probably the most attention you have ever received. Laughable. So yeah, there was a few. Most of them, was trolling Harry, of course, but the few people that did have something to say otherwise without making it too personal, um, those are the ones I shared with you. So anyway, it's unfortunate. He could have just I don't know. I don't know what his point was, other than to clout chase, as Leg said. What's that? The Wrath of the Sussex Squad? It does have that effect, Marshall. It does have that effect. If you all remember, when Pierce Morgan had asked Joan Collins, uh, whatever he asked her, something about Harry and Meghan or Meghan, and she didn't say anything. She just closed her lips real tight and did the whole zip, turn the key, and swallow it. And she's like, mm-mm, mm-mm, nope, I'm not saying anything. Pierce Morgan was trying to get her on the record in some kind of way. And because she had had a couple of rounds with the Sussex squad, she decided that it wasn't worth it. But for someone like Joan Collins, who's had such an amazing career, um, if she wants to be relevant with a younger generation, then just leave it alone. You don't have to say anything. The fact that she went there in the past was because she felt as though everything was going her way, everybody was on her side, and that's just not the case. And it's not so much that there is a fandom that is angry as much as people are very protective, because when there's someone you love and admire and you see that they are being targeted by trolls and the Rangers and such, like with the Sussexes, it does trigger some really um, mixed feelings, hostile feelings, whatever the case may be for the individual, not for the whole group of supporters. Um, it's painful. It is very painful. And I have been pained by things that have been said about the Sussexes. I don't pretend otherwise. I don't like it. And sometimes I don't really give it as much thought before I'm just like, okay, wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean? Right? Instantly, I am very, very protective. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So the easiest thing to do is think about it, right? Think about it. And anybody who has been paying attention to what's happened in the media in recent years, then you know there are some people that have been targeted more than others, and even worse, unjustly targeted by these hate campaigns that are fueled by the tabloid media. So, if you know that that's the situation, maybe just don't say anything. Don't add your voice to the chorus. If it's not going to improve anything, then just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I don't dislike Swift. I know that there's a lot of people that love Taylor Swift. I don't have an opinion about her. The only way I would have an opinion is if she comes for somebody that I truly care about, and then all of a sudden I wouldn't have anything nice to say. But until that happens, you know, and I hope it doesn't, then I like when people were. Do you remember the Super Bowl? And there was like all of this fuss about the cameras on Taylor Swift, and it's not the Taylor Swift Super Bowl. I felt really bad for her because I thought about Megan and I thought about how people grossly overestimate the amount of exposure that Megan has. And I figure if it could happen to Megan, then that's probably what's happening right now. And then when you hear the actual number, like let's say for the entirety of the game, the camera was on Taylor Swift for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 45 seconds. But by the time people get through beating their chest and banging their heads on the seats and everything, then it seems like she's was had about 30 minutes of screen time. Yeah, 30 minutes of screen time for the entirety of the Super Bowl game, which we all know is not true. It was no more than like I'm going to say 40 seconds, but whatever the case it may be, she is a interesting person. People like her, and wherever she goes, she gets a lot of attention. I mean, I don't know too many people who started singing on some what was it, variety show or reality show, and now they travel the world in a private jet and live like the Queen of Sheba. I don't know many people like that, but I'm happy for her. She did what she did, and I don't have anything against her. So why would I be one of those people that is out to condemn her for the sake of doing it? I figure the only reason why Sean did what he did was because there has been this free for all on Prince Harry, and he's adding his voice to the chorus. I think it was more deliberate than just by chance. Because how many other books has he read and he hasn't given a review? I would be really interested to know if he's ever reviewed any book before. But it was his chance to say something he thought was cute and clever. Spare me. I read, oh, spare me. That is the height of cleverness, right? Lex says, agree. What's it, Joe Coy? Uh, yes, exactly. Exactly. So Megan's not a household name, but yet when people want attention, that's the first thing they do is mention Megan. That's the first thing they do because Megan is part of the pop culture, the popular culture as we know it right now. Harry and Meghan's somewhat Romeo and Juliet type of rom com relationship with the evil stepmother and all those components makes for a compelling story, but it doesn't explain why someone like a Sean Lennon decides that he would. Okay, look, what was that the person said here? That's what I wanted to mention. Um, Uh, Going by your comments, it's obvious you went on the tabloid opinions and didn't actually read the book. Okay? And that's what is screaming out is that you went by the tabloids and you didn't actually read the book. He probably read a few pages and put it down and decided to just take what the tabloid said and let that be what he'll repeat. I'd be impressed if he actually read the entire book. I'd really be impressed. But so far, I don't think he's going to impress me. Thank you, Legs. Raffaella Bertoni, thank you for the super sticker and thank you for being here tonight. Let me see. Weird song about a box. Don't we all? I would say Yoko Ono has a very weird song about a box. She seems obsessed with that. So, yeah, we all have a obsession with boxes. I mean, at the end of the day, um, okay, let me see here. Right, right. If you're not a fan, why would you watch them and follow everything they do? I think the only people that do that is someone who needs someone to hate. There are some people that need someone to hate. They need the camaraderie of hating a person that they don't know. That's why I use Taylor Swift as an example because I know she gets it a lot. And as long as I have been doing Royal Sussex, I don't think you guys have ever heard me say a cross word about her. And even someone that has been as polarizing and decisive, especially among African Americans, as a Kim Kardashian, I said very clearly, I don't know anything about them. And I then people say, well, what about? I don't know. I didn't follow it and all of the arguments about appropriation and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a lot of merit to it, but that's not how I know her. So I'm not going to go out of my way to condemn her or follow everything that she does just for the sake of it, because I think the condemnation and the trolling, it becomes part of pop culture. Like as I mentioned, Joan Collins earlier, the Alexis Carrington character, that was someone that people love to hate, right? And I didn't really understand what that meant. Somebody people love to hate. Now I see it's not limited to characters. Okay, you don't like the character Alexis Carrington. Well, I was always Camp Crystal Carrington, right? So I didn't hate her as a person. She was just a character on the show, right? But there are some people that carry that into real life to the point where it made her afraid. And, you know, I'm not so sympathetic with her because I see she's a bit of a what do you call it? She's a bit of a snob. Yeah, I'm gonna say she's a bit of a snob. And like someone said, Joan, what do you think about Megan becoming an actress? No, starring in a movie. And she goes, and it was just like, if you're smart, if you're smart, and especially she was not in the UK, she was in the US. If you're smart, you just say, well, I wish her all the luck. And you keep it moving instead of the wicked witch laugh and all that kind of stuff, which is exactly what she did. And so you do something like that, and then some of the fandom goes after you. Well, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just saying don't be surprised. Thank you, Natasha. Ebony Unicorn says the thing about Spare is that you need to listen to the audiobook so you can hear the pain he endured and the love he has for Megan. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say doing both is likely a good idea. And thank you so much for the super chat. There's been a couple of books where I was intermittently going back from the book to the audio, and or was it, did I watch the movie? And then, well, I know one I did the audio and the book, and there was another one that maybe a couple of them, I watched a movie and then I read the book. And it was interesting, the little subtle differences here and there, and then some things that was not in the movie at all. But I think is very interesting to do both. But as for the audio, that is traditionally speaking, that is the exact wording from the book. And to hear any book read by the author is an amazing experience, especially when it comes to Harry, because he has that great speaking voice. So I highly recommend, even if you have read the book, please go listen to the audio. You will not be disappointed. So thank you again. Oh, well, that explains it. Thank you, Sandra Gonzalez. Thank you so much. That explains it. Hey, Anastasia. Oh, yeah, Ma Middleton. Thank you for your comment. All right. So, just a reminder, not that most of you all need it, but Prince Harry's Spare, and this is from Forbes magazine, um, Guinness record breaks Guinness record for fastest selling nonfiction book, and he hints there's much more he left out. So um, there was room for a whole nother book. About half of it was removed, and so there's over 400 pages, but it was about 800 pages before the Queen died. So they went back and decided to do some things. And then take a look here, January the 17th. This article says, let me see, Spare by Prince Harry is the UK's fastest selling memoir since records began. Top 10 fastest selling memoirs by UK first week print sales volume. Spare was at 467,183 copies. And that was the first week. That was the first week. Promised Land by Barack Obama. And remember, this is in the UK, not the US. What did that do? That did just shy of 80,000 sales in the first week. Okay. So, yeah, it gives you an idea of how popular the book was. And that was just the first week sale. And then, of course, there was the multitude of translations that were available. I mean, just look at those if you recognize any of them. I think I see, what is it? Prince Harry. What is that, German? Uh, is that, oh, yeah. 10 Drugi, 10 Drugi, reserve, reserve, reserve. See there? Look at how many languages I can speak. Sombra, Les plaisants. No, wait. Les sous plaisants and il minor. Oh, I thought they said vitamins. Oh well, Veramise. And of course, let me see how many translations was that one. That was 9 of them, right? Well, take a look up there. Now you can see that 9 has turned into 14 languages, and I'm pretty sure it didn't stop there. Every so often, you would see that the book had been translated yet again. Spare is surprisingly well written, despite the drama around it, says Time magazine. And it was number one seller on the Amazon for a while. I don't know if that's still the case. And then over there, you can see isn't as scandalous and salacious as the tabloids have led you to believe, right? Spare is not as scandalous or salacious as the tabloids would have you believe. It's almost as if they want you to dislike him as much as he justifiably dislikes them. Huh. Thank you, Matt. And over here, Spare Memoir breaks UK sales records and tops Amazon bestseller list. Let me see, what's the date? That was January the 11th, 2023, is what the article has for the date. And then over there, it says there's enough for a second book. I cut memoir to spare my family. I cut memoir to spare my family. And of course, he, said in one or two of those interviews, hey, I could do a second book. I could do a second book. And I hope he does someday. But listen, when the time is right, okay? When the time is right, then that's when we'll have the other book. Now, let's see here. Meghan is unpopular in the UK, says one of the squatties. Irrelevant. No one likes her, blah, blah, blah. Clever is sold out in the UK on and is on pre-order. British media are what is that? Pirates with press passes. Oh, so apparently Clever has been sold out already. It has been sold out and is on pre-order. Wow. You mean to tell me Clever Blend is doing that well in the UK? My goodness. My. Of course, I'm not surprised. Prince William to take on key role in Japanese state visit to the UK. The Prince of Wales, who is receiving, I'm sorry, the Princess of Wales, who is receiving treatment for cancer, is not listed among the royals taking part in the visit. I wonder if that comes as a relief to anybody. I mean, because nobody wants her to be overworked, right? So Prince William, just as a reminder, is costing the taxpayers £127,000 an hour. He has only done less than a month's work. Spread over 12 months, he is not worth it. This is from, I believe, Republic. So I think for the amount of hours that he works, um, he cost the taxpayers £127,000 for an hour of work. So I believe that is divided amongst whatever share of the sovereign grant subsidizes his life as a member of the royal family. It comes out to £127,000 an hour. My goodness. My goodness, that is a lot of money. But Kate, Kate is not likely to be there to greet the Japanese emperor, which is probably a good thing because you all remember what happened the last time that Kate was available for a head of state. It appeared as though the Radio City Music Hall Rockettes were auditioning. I tell you, I could hear like some burlesque music in the background. I'm like, where is that burlesque music coming from? Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-dun, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba. I thought we moved beyond that, but apparently it is still a thing. Well, at least it was last year. I still say that this was embarrassing and disrespectful to the Korean president, and it seemed desperate. It really did. And and I'm just being honest. I know that she is, away and not working right now, but I'm just saying the same thing now that I said a while ago. It seemed very desperate. It seemed very desperate. I feel like this was more of a stunt than anything else. And unworthy of someone who is the mother of the future queen, and she emerges from the car like that. And why am I saying this? Because that was the punishing, as well as I think over the top comments that were directed toward Megan. And I know for some people, it may bother you that I'm pointing this out, especially the people that are fans of Kate Middleton. But I have to say that I feel it's important to point these things out, to push back against the abuse that Megan has gone through, because to say nothing about this, that means that the version of the story that comes from Kensington Palace and from the trolls and such, that's all we're left with. Now, of course, I don't think Kensington Palace were the ones to reach out and criticize Meghan for the way she entered or exited a vehicle, but they never told people to leave her alone. And so when this happened with Kate, what happened? She was praised for how fit her legs are. Meghan was considered not ladylike, but Kate was praised for emerging from the car looking like some type of burlesque dancer. I think it's shocking. Lex says, see how she tries to wear rose colors. Thank you. Thanks, Legs. I hadn't noticed that. uh, okay. But anyway, I think we've gotten the point. So I'm going to move on, but not completely. And of course, it also gave rise, hmm, no pun intended, gave rise, but it also gave rise to a parody of the movie A Handmaid's Tale. And of course, that led to a parody called A Middlebom's Tale. A Middlebom Tale is the story of a princess of the realm. At the time, of course, the newly minted uh, Princess of Wales, um, who somehow gained a lot of attention for herself by flailing her legs out of a vehicle in the presence of the Korean prime minister or president or prime minister, his wife, her father in law, who happened to be king. I was just shocked by it. I really was. I thought it was in pretty bad taste. And I wonder, when I look at this photo now, I wonder what William must have been thinking. Is William saying to himself, see, this is why I went to Singapore alone. This is why I went to New York alone. I mean, there was a lot going on that day. A lot. They did not seem to get on so well, right? And remember, this is long before the hospital visit. But it's those types of attention seeking things that seems to bother William. And I'm saying this because I'm a royal expert. I've never met William. I've never met Kate. Um, I don't ever talk to anybody from their household. I was not there. But based on the credentials that all the other so called royal experts have, I think I am quite the authority. I know all there is to know. And I could just look at that picture. I could just, something deep inside of me says, William has had enough. Now, if I worked for, say, the Mirror, I would write a clever article. Has William had enough of Kate and all of those attention seeking stunts that happens every time they have an official engagement? Will you boo William the next time you see him? You know, that's the kind of stuff they write. I don't know why I couldn't. Let's see. YM George says Kate heard South Koreans like like chicken wings. Oh, yeah, and just trying to relate. Well, thank you, YM Droid. I heard the South Koreans are quite adapted at their chicken wings. So, uh, oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I think per capita, it's true. Per capita, Korea has more chicken restaurants than just about anybody. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Why they look so stoic. And knowing that there are cameras around, William is bristling, right? And Kate is like looking, has that very, I mean, she's looking to the camera as though she is frustrated or helpless or something. Very odd. Very odd. So Prince William slammed for praising Kate Middleton's Filipino nurses. He's made her race made their race a focal point. So I was thinking, everybody's worried about Kate Middleton not being there. When I think that if Kate Middleton was there, it would make a mockery of the entire event. What they ought to worry about is William trying to relate to the Japanese emperor by reminding him that he has a couple of Filipino nurses, that his wife is being cared for by a couple of Filipino nurses. Now, that would be awkward. First of all, that is Japan, not the Philippines. And second of all, why is the race of the nurses important? So I think that whether Kate is there or she's not, I think a lot can go wrong with the visit from the um, Japanese not prime minister, emperor. So maybe they should both sit it out. You know what I mean? Maybe they should both sit it out. Just let Charles and Camilla host them, because even with Camilla, you're not 100% safe, because what if the emperor breaks wind? Because the last time Camilla and Biden was together, she said Biden had farted and couldn't wait to tell everybody that Biden had broke wind, right? So I don't know if she could be trusted. I mean, she told everybody who would listen that the president of the United States farted. There was no denial from the palace, none of that. But I'm wondering, how did all of the papers hear about it first thing in the morning? Hello? Is this the Daily Mail? Senior Royal here. I said Senior Royal here. Yes, he fought it. He absolutely cut the cheese. Yes, I tell you, he fought it. It was dreadful. So can't trust her either. I think the only one, as much as I hate to admit this, the only person who would probably behave themselves in the presence of the Emperor of Japan is probably Charles. But the rest of them can't be trusted. Camilla, you got to worry about making bodily functions or bodily sounds. Um, Kate, again, is not likely to be there, but you don't really know how she's going to emerge from the vehicle. I mean, you certainly don't want another case of this. And what else? And then William with the comment about the Filipino nurses. As a matter of fact, it was said that when the nurses got word of it, someone had called over to whichever house they're working in, and they were pretty upset about it. And when William came in later that day, well, they certainly admonished him with their stares, of course. I mean, it could not have been a very comfortable situation. You know what I'm saying? You're working round the clock, and all of a sudden, here comes people calling you like, "Hey, um, William was talking about you. Yeah, he said he had two Filipino nurses take care of his wife." So, yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine. It must have been very awkward in that house after those words were muttered. What? What? Really? So, yeah. I think William is the new Philip. He's the new Philip. Because you know Philip would have said something inappropriate. Yes, yes, absolutely. That was the night of the gigantic candelabra. I would say that was a bit of a punishment of sorts. Yeah, I would say that that was a bit of a punishment for leaping out of the car, exposing so much like that. Yep, no doubt. Let me see if I have that one. Okay. Do I or don't I? I should. Let me see. I know I have that one. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Uh-huh. Nope, that's not it. How long ago was that? Of course, I wouldn't have to go back and look that far because Kate ain't been available that much. Poor Kate. I am worried about her though. I feel like something terrible has happened. And, you know, just for the sake of her children, I hope she's okay. I want her to dress a little more modestly, but I hope she's okay. It's just interesting what they praise her for and the kind of stuff that they choose to condemn Megan about. That's a double standard, a gross double standard. Aha, I found it. I found it. As a matter of fact, I think it was a movie that they made. There we go. Let me see. I got it. Okay, let me try this. Ha, perfect. Okay, I got it. Thank you, TB. I found exactly what you were talking about. Is this it? Oh. Royal Sussex presents Behind the Candelabra, starring Kate Middleton and Willie Leaks Windsor. That's the one, right? And there you can see in that little cameo on the left side, which is the actual photo of Kate. You know, when Megan was behind the candle, they talked about it for days. When Harry was behind that feather, they talked about it for days. Well, Kate was stuck behind the candelabra and they barely spoke about it. Yeah, they barely mentioned it, if at all. Yeah, thank you, TB. I knew that was it. And as you can see, Royal Sussex has been branching out to motion pictures. And so, based on the actual events, there was a short film called Behind the Candelabra. So, yeah, there you go. Let me see. Okay, so let's get back over there. I bet you when William came in after that, the nurses was like, huh. Could you imagine that? When when William if he went to that house, William got home and the nurse was like, huh. Oh man. Interesting details in this month's Japanese state visit schedule is Emperor Naruhito laying wreath on Queen Elizabeth's tomb. Is he the first leader to do so? Could this become common mark of respect for visiting dignitaries? Well, I find it interesting. So, um, obviously, he asked for the opportunity to lay some flowers at Queen Elizabeth's grave. I hope they do televise that because for most people, it'll be only the second time that there has been a photo or video issued from the actual grave site or tomb, if you will. So I hope that they will share that. Okay. Excited, David Beckham is made an ambassador for King Charles Foundation after they bonded over a love of beekeeping, sparking speculation he could be a step closer to that coveted knighthood. Well, along with the invitation, they brought him a platter with a couple of pairs of boots for him to lick. But you can see here, King turns to David Beckham to rebuild charity hit by cash for honors scandal. Now, if I was David Beckham, I would try to listen to that little inner voice that says, run, run. But instead, he wants that title so bad. He wants his knighthood so desperately that he is willing to lick any boot that is required to get it, which I think is absolutely pathetic. But that's what he's going to do. That'll be something to tell the grandkids, right? Well, if you look on the right side, check it out. Golden Crawls, how shameless David Beckham grovels to Queen in desperate bid to get a knighthood and said he was a new Audrey Hepburn on Instagram. Really? Really? You're such a humanitarian. You're the new Audrey Hepburn. This man has probably spent tens of thousands of pounds campaigning for this knighthood. He doesn't have enough self-respect to just sit back and let it happen. Nope, he don't have enough self-respect to sit back and just let it happen. Now, this article from 2017, as far back as 2017, Dan Wooten, of all people, were writing articles about David Beckham groveling, kissing up to the royal family. You mean to tell me that something from that far ago and you still ain't got it yet? Did they not see you standing in line at the Queen's state, whatever thing? Did they not see that? uh, I hope so, Marsha. I hope so. Oh, let me see. I can barely see that. It's something else on the side there. I wish I could see it. Let me see if I can see the small print there on the side. I don't have it, do I? Nope, I don't have it. Oh, yeah, I do. Hold on a second. Because the article has a couple of tweets with it, and I want to see what those tweets are. Give me just a second. You see on the side of the article. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Look at me, Victoria. I've finally been knighted. See up there on the upper right side there behind the watermark. I want to see what those tweets are saying. Something from Dan Wooten. Let me see if I. It is not. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's to. Yeah, cannot see that. Man, I want to see that. I'm sure it's something juicy. Oh, well, it is not possible. I'm not even sure those are tweets from Dan Wooten. Oh, no, I think those are David Beckham tweets. Oh, it must be the one where he said that he's the new Katharine Hepburn. What a loser. What a loser. Who could be that desperate? I know, David Beckham. So, yeah, he can't wait to get home so he can tell her that he's been knighted. I mean, this has been going on for quite some time. He even acted out some scene that is actually, I think he got into a movie script somehow, but that's not a meme or, well, not an AI. That is actually him in costume. I don't know how that came about. But if you're wondering why David Beckham does not have a movie career, I don't know if you ever heard the man talk, but he has a bit of a country twang to his voice, which is interesting because he's not even from the US, but he sounds a bit country. Well, for us it's country, but for the UK, I don't know what you would call it. But he does not have a pleasant voice. Harry, Harry sounds very much like he could be 007. David Beckham, not so much. Not so much. He has a horrible, horrible voice. It's not bad, but for anything that involves public speaking, it is not pleasant. It is really not. He's probably better than what he was, say, 20 years ago because he's been around money more. But he is not one that people would pay for public speaking unless they just wanted his celebrity. Let's see. My partner said that David is not a fantastic footballer, but only have good looks. He always likes to butter royals, and his voice is another thing. Can't stand him. Yeah, I remember the first time I heard it, I was just like, ugh. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can find one of his interviews. Let me see if it's bad if I remember. Let me see. Okay. David Beckham interview. I want to try to find an old one, before he got money. Might be a little too difficult for that, but here, 11 years ago. This is perfect.
Have enabled me to be able to still be playing at 38, 37.
Est-ce que tu as des moments quand même où tu en as marre?
I think in life sometimes, of course,
Of course.
it's difficult at times because the attention, sometimes you want to go out for a quiet walk.
Okay, it's not as bad as I recall, but maybe he's trying to be all of that. But I've always thought he had a terrible voice. Not not horrible, but just not eloquent. Not it's not posh at all. It's certainly not posh. Okay. And a man of very few words. I'd add that too.
7 for Manchester United, wore the number 7 for England, played for England, played for United, captained both England and Manchester United. And, you know, when I used to score goals or make tackles, I always used to run off saying, I'm Brian Robson. So he was my hero.
You know,
Okay, so that was from a month ago.
You watch on TV.
That was from a month ago. So he's not terrible, but just not very posh. Not very posh. It's, you know what it is, Amber Rowan. I'm going to tell you what it is that when you look at him, because let's face it, David Beckham is quite attractive. He's always been a very attractive man. Even though he's older, he's still very attractive. But when you hear him talk compared to the way he looks, and it's just like, ugh. And that's what used to catch me off guard. The first time I heard him, I'm like, that's his voice? Okay, let me stop dragging this man. But David Beckham once called the honors committee for OBE unappreciative something after he was denied a knighthood. He is now ambassador to King's main charity. So one of the squaddies on Twitter, who is every bit the investigative journalist, and I choose not to share her actual Twitter page, she found some stuff I didn't even know was there. Rip Brand Beckham, and get it, Rip Van Winkle, Rip Brand Beckham, heckled emails suggest ex-England captain called, what is it, gong bosses, unappreciative, you know what's? Oh, gong. That's what they call those medals, because it kind of hangs like one of those, gongs that you hit with the hammer. Anyway, unappreciative, you know what's, after knighthood snub, refused to donate 1 million to UNICEF, declaring it's my flipping money, and railed against tax bill advice. Again, that was 2017. The bee's knees, how Beckham charmed King, and now he's been made the first ambassador for King Charles' key charity. Could he be a step closer to becoming Sir David? Huh. Yeah, like I said, he's been around money, and if you've been around posh people, it's gonna rub off, right? And he probably has been working on it. And you know who else has been working on their voice? I'm gonna go ahead and reach out to Kensington Palace so you can hear for yourself who else has been working on their voice. Because of their proximity to money, they decided they need to sound a little more posh, don't they?
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously to this day, and, going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and, very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
Yes, if you're going to be a duchess, it's very important that one sounds like a duchess. So yeah, when people get to that higher rung of the ladder like that, you have to do something with that voice. Can't go in there sounding like some cotton picking fool. So you got to do something with that voice. And then over here, David Beckham allegedly raged against Catherine Jenkins' gong in for foul-mouthed email. And OBE for what? taking. Oh, really? Um, you know, I bet when he get mad, when he get mad, I bet that very twangy, I bet that very twangy voice comes out. I reckon. You know what I mean? I bet when he gets really upset, all of that posh practice just goes south. And I'm sure I'm just imagining him with like a really strong Cockney accent, right? I think he's gonna go to a very complete Cockney accent when he gets like really upset. uh, Catherine Jenkins says David Beckham has never apologized for being rude about her OBE, and the footballer sent an email about the Welsh singer, which was leaked online. Ooh, I want to see that. I want to see that. Oh man, ain't there something? A white Jenkins. I don't think I've ever seen a white Jenkins before. You know where I come from? Most people named Jenkins are black. I have never seen a white Jenkins. Let me see. Have you all? I've never seen a white Jenkins before. I didn't know they had such a thing. Ain't that something? I was this many years old when I found out that there's a white Jenkins. I've never seen that before. Oh well, she better be glad she ain't in the United States. Okay. Oh. Okay, I think I found the email. Give me just a second. I'll share it with you all. I think I found it. Mrs. Jenkins. Mrs. Jenkins. Okay. Uh, with her last name, her resume would get passed over. Okay, you're right about that. I wish I could say but no, that's true. Debbie done took that resume and slid it up under the copier, or pushed it behind a file cabinet. Or spilled a cup of coffee on it. You know what they do with them Jenkins resumes. It wouldn't last long. It wouldn't be in the office that long before it was in the paper shredder. Just saying. Just saying. Y'all, I gotta stop. What is wrong with me tonight? I gotta stop. Let me get serious here. Put my game face on. Oh Lord, I'm trying to load that. Oh, it won't let me. Hold on. I could fix it though. I could fix it. Mm, it won't let me load it. Okay, it says right here, just so we're clear, I have never been on my own with him and never arranged to meet up. We were out in a group of friends and it was just a normal, fun evening out. I don't think this has to do with David Beckham. Oh, yes, it does. I've only met David twice, once at the military awards in 2010 and on a night out in the West End in February 2012. The rumors are very hurtful, untrue, and my lawyers tell me actionable. Dear Twitter friends, I've read some horrible rumors on here and want you to know I absolutely deny I've had an affair with David Beckham. I mean, you could do worse, but I understand. I understand. Oh, that was in the Sun. Um, Tosh and Beck, furious singer Katherine Jenkins hit back at David Beckham after footy hero branded her OBE for singing at rugby and taking baking soda, a flipping joke uh, in hacked emails. Oh, somebody hacked those emails. Really? You guys, I don't know how we got on this, but boy, is this interesting. See, it just goes to show you if somebody is low class, and I'm not saying David Beckham is, but if somebody is kind of low class, it's going to come out one way or the other. Using the C word and all the other terrible things that he said or allegedly said, you know what I'm saying? That really does speak to his character as a person. And I used to think he was a pretty decent individual. I did. I used to think he was a pretty decent individual, but now I see he's kind of common. He's kind of common. But oh well, I don't know enough about him to be condemning him like that. But what a horse's patootie. Oh man. Well, I tell you what, if you all are at all interested in, let me see. Catherine Jenkins says, "Dear Twitter friends, I have read some of the yeah, I shared that one already. Uh, I'm telling you, this girl just don't look like no Catherine Jenkins. Is she passing? Wait, and a classical singer, not a not a gospel singer. Now, see, that would make sense if she was a gospel singer, Catherine Jenkins, but she's a classical singer. Interesting. Well, if she's done what they accused her of, I bet she can sing really good now because some things opens up the sinuses and dilating those sinuses. I bet you can belt out some big notes. I didn't know David Beckham was like that, calling people names and stuff. Oh well, just goes to show you never really know a person. Well, Helen, I've never heard this before. I've never heard any of this. It's all new to me. Interesting because when I tell you, when I tell y'all I don't really know much about some of these people, I seriously know very little about a lot of people that are just not in my orbit. Probably related to Roscoe Jenkins. He is a little. Let me stop. Okay, I'm done with David Beckham. I did not come on here to condemn him, but I just I'm learning a new side of him that I didn't know exist. Okay, unbelievable. At the Royal Variety, both were very lovely and terrific at the meet and greet. Incidentally, when she shook hands with me, she pressed a tiny piece of folded paper into my palm. I looked at it later. It just had one word written inside: help. It just had one single word written inside. Just one word.
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
Oh man. Listen, you all should not encourage me. I'm having too much fun tonight. Yeah, so that's what was on that piece of paper. He's paraphrasing, but it was said, police. That's what was on that paper. He's paraphrasing for our benefit. Uh-oh. No wonder Charles had invited him. Remember, they said Charles invited David Beckham to come over and met with him late at night? Well, that explains everything. Huh. Well, I tell you, you guys are investigative journalists tonight. So I found that piece of paper. I did. I found a screenshot of the piece of paper. Um, don't ask me how. It took some doing, but I found it. This is what was handed to him. I'm trying to figure out if that's lipstick or a Sharpie. I think it's a Sharpie. Oh, well, I hope she's okay. Gosh, I hope she's okay. Don't let nothing happen to her. It's not inflation when corporations are raking in record profits. You guys, there's a lot of frustration about how much things cost, but it is corporate greed that is so damaging. The Kroger and Safeway supermarkets reported record profits. It's amazing how all of these companies just say, whoop, we don't have a choice but to raise prices. And when they do that, they have record profits for that year. Like, for instance, American Airlines, the largest carrier in the world, I believe. And what happened? They had record profits, all while complaining about the price of fuel. What American Airlines started doing, which is what a lot of companies are doing, they buying back the stock, which drives up the stock price, right? So in the short term, their stock becomes incredibly valuable. And then, of course, if they own the stock, then that means whatever profits they don't stick in their little grubby pockets, they might actually, um, buy more stock with it and just keep the stock prices jumping higher and higher. So if you guys are thinking that, oh, well, that's just the way it is. No, it's not just the way it is. We are being gouged. Housing prices, everything, they are gouging the consumer. And sadly, no politician is talking about it. I haven't seen or heard one politician that has said, we got to do something about housing. It's too expensive. And it's not most of us older people that are suffering as much as it is the young people who will never have that experience of having their first apartment. I can remember the first time I had my own place. It was such an amazing moment. But now, if you don't have a roommate, it ain't gonna happen. At least for a lot of people, because too much of their income is going toward rent. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I just don't want you to think that it's that way because that's the way it is. So when you vote, the next time you all vote, listen carefully and see if there's anybody talking about how much consumers are spending. But most politicians, they only pay a little lip service and don't really care. So what is wrong with this world, huh? What is wrong with this world? All right. And lastly, this comes from Republic Down with the Crown. Don't forget, if you guys are bored, Troop in the Color is going to have a group of Republic people protesting. So if you don't watch the parade, at least try to tune in to the protests. Just scour the social media and look for Republic or Not My King, and you'll find all of those fun images, bull horns, yellow placards, all that kind of stuff. It's what I call a great Saturday afternoon. And with that, you all, thank you so much for joining us on Royal Sussex. It has been a pleasure as per usual. Thank you all for your very generous super chats and super stickers. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you to the moderators for keeping this the safe space that it has been for a long time. And don't forget, you all, to please pray for three of the squaddies that find themselves in need of healing. So we have Church Nellie and Therese Martin and Cynthia Thorpe. So remember to pray for them because they need your prayers. Okay? And of course, whenever you see our queens, it's about time to go. You know what I mean. And let me see. Oh, Cynthia, thank you so much for the super sticker. Great job, Baron. I think that'll be the last word for today. I appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Cue the Ginger Avenger. Okay.